Phenomenal morning, phenomenal morning, phenomenal morning. Listen, guys, I am your host, Sean Bright East, and this is your Breakfast with the Brand. As always, I am flanked by the phenomenal Bobby Jackson. Bobby, how you feeling this morning, brother?
Absolutely phenomenal, Coach. I'm feeling great. Worked out this morning. And I did a lot this morning. We're not going to talk about everything that got done this morning, but it's only 7 o'clock. Do more before. What did you always teach us? Do more.
I always say have more done before people wake up than they're going to do the entire day. This is what I taught my children. I taught my children this. I used to walk them to the park and we used to do pull-ups and dips. You called it around the world. For those of you who know what I'm talking about, called it around the world. 10 sets of pull-ups, 10 sets of dips, 10 sets of push-ups, 10, 10, 10 around the world. My daughter, now this will hurt some feelings. My daughter at the age of 5 was doing 5 sets of 10 or 10 sets of 5 pull-ups. Hanging. I would brace her to make sure she wouldn't fall off, but she was doing them herself. She was pulling herself up. 5 sets of 5, 5 sets of 10 or 10 sets of 5 each. And my little men were like machines and Marines in cadence, following back after one another. Pull up, dips, push-ups, back to it. 10 cycles, and then we would leave. And around the time we would leave, it would be like 6:45. People would just be waking up, getting their little bagels and stuff, their cream cheese and Danishes out of the store, and be wiping their faces and waking up and still sluggish and tired. And I would say, listen, guys, it's very important. You want to have more done by the time people wake up than they're going to do the entire day. The sun would just be coming up.
It was one of those mornings, Coach. It was one of those mornings.
Good. Beautiful. What that does is it puts you on track for a phenomenal day. Right? It puts you on track for a phenomenal day. So what I'm going to say real quick, because I already know, is #replay squad. #replay squad, because I know, guys, that you don't really perform at this level. Right? Now, we're still going to do the family thing and all of those good things that you guys are engaged in. But I want you to think of, what are you doing for yourself? What are you doing for yourself? Because success looks like selfishness first. Yeah, success looks like selfishness first. So my wife has become accustomed to me getting out of the bed between 3 and 4 in the morning. And it's like, where are you going? What are you doing? Why are you up? And I'm selfish. I'm protecting my morning. I'm sorry. Now is not the time. Now it's not wife time right now. I'm on business time. Like, I'm on God time right now. I got to speak to God. I got to do the things that I need to do as a provider, because my job is to provide. I wake up. You're not supposed to wake up. People aren't supposed to wake up. I'm not people. We're different. I was given I was entrusted with the responsibility to take care of this family to a super high degree, my standard of degree. Therefore, I have to get up earlier than normal people who begin to stir around 6 or 7. Do you understand? It's a completely different situation. I go live at 7 o'clock. I'm on here. I'm feeding the people at 7 o'clock. I can't wake up at 6 o'clock to do that efficiently.
Wow. This is super sobering, and there's another word I'm looking for. It's almost like solace. Like, you can find solace in this truth, ladies and gentlemen.
Yes.
Like, if you felt like, or have heard yourself being called selfish, or you've heard yourself being called, inconsiderate, and all of these different things, like, those are the things that people will say. I was writing yesterday as I was just journaling. I was like, one of the hardest things about becoming a successful entrepreneur, because anyone can start a business notionally, LLC, anyone can do that. But like, being a successful entrepreneur, I think one of the hardest parts of that is navigating negative people and negativity in general. I think, like, that's what makes it hard. And I'm not going to take us out of this world, but you guys know how I can do. But like,
give us 1 moment. Let's be right back. Let's hold that thought. Hold that thought, because when we get back, we're going to dig into that. We're going to unpack that gift. We're going to open that gift and unwrap that gift. Guys, we'll be right back. This is The Breakfast with the Brand. There's slow growth, and then there's scale. There's incremental growth, and then there's exponential growth. What I want to talk to you about is adding a zero to you and experiencing exponential scale. Incremental growth says 1 + 1 is 2. Exponential growth says 1 + 0 is 10. Incremental growth says 2 + 2 is 4. Exponential growth says 5 + 0 is 50. Guys, listen, when you add a zero to you, you can add a zero to the marketplace. You can add a zero to the value that you bring. So you can add a zero to your family, add a zero to your legacy. This is what we're talking about. We're not talking about incremental, we're talking about exponential. I always say that business is a spiritual game. Just imagine when you combine your skills, your values, your abilities, your talents to something bigger than you, something greater than you, something like the power of exponential. That is adding a zero. Add a zero to your competence, add a zero to your confidence. This is about adding a zero in your life, your value, your industry, and your mission. Let's grow. I said Sean Ra'is. I'm proud. That's Sean Ra'is. Leadership is not the brand they made for us.
Listen, he brought fire, heat. He didn't hold back.
20 years down the line, what I could sell, why not serve first? Service over salary. Branding like a leader closes the gap for people who want branding. Speaking like a leader closes the gap for people who are nervous about speaking. If Steve Jobs would have speculated, we wouldn't have Apple.
He changed lives. He helped people open up their business and start their business.
We are the brand. Some people say, Sean, should I quit my job? Mentally, yes.
As a speaker too, to be able to learn from him and watch him and game respects game. And I want to have that much game someday.
The right client, pay $500,000 for what you do. You have to be bold in your beliefs.
He has been an amazing asset to this event and a pleasure to work with. Very captivating, collaborative, worked very well with the audience.
I want to help you. Put a zero behind your number, right?
The session was great. How he is online, virtually, he is even more phenomenal in person.
Be the face of change that you want to see. Stop asking questions and start giving demands.
The entire team has just been absolutely incredible. They are a joy to work with. They go above and beyond.
Give yourself a round of applause. Yes. All right, guys. So we're back. We have to pay homage to our sponsors. We have to pay homage to our sponsors and pay the bills. But Bobby Jackson, go ahead and get into that deep commentary that you were about to get into before we went to the first break.
Oh, yeah. And the break even gave me an opportunity to put it into an analogy. So I could take us out of space, but not too far without losing the people, right? So
good.
Check this out, guys. I was thinking about this deeply yesterday. Being an entrepreneur, becoming an entrepreneur is a lot like being an astronaut. Like becoming successful in business is low key rocket science. And I really mean this, it's rocket science. And let me tell you why I believe this. So one of the hardest parts about being an entrepreneur is dealing with negativity and negative people. Hey, you shouldn't do this. You shouldn't do that. You're leaving your job. Are you crazy? Why are you doing this? And if you constantly hear that over and over and over again, it can be demoralizing. It can cause you to lose your faith. It could cause you to second guess your abilities and potential. And all of these things are negatively affecting your ability to execute effectively. So here's what I started to think about. I was like, there's gotta be, and I'm a scientific thinker, I'm a deep thinker, and I'm always trying to find a way to make it connect the dots. So here's what I did. I started thinking physics. I started thinking rocket science. And then I really started thinking, I say, okay, I think I can map this out. So here is why being in a community, one, is it's non-negotiable. One, it's non-negotiable. And two, here's why dealing with negative people is such a difficult thing to do. So we're gonna use some vocabulary words you probably haven't used in a while. Mass, okay? So mass is fundamental to all things. All math has mass. Now, what is mass? Because we don't talk about this much after school. Mass is defined by an object's resistance to change due to outside forces. So the larger something is, the more outside force is required to cause it to change its position or its rotation. And if something is small, it has a smaller amount of mass, so it's easy to move it. If something is large, the larger it is, the harder it is to move. So the larger something is, the more mass it has. So now that we got mass, we can start thinking a little bit about gravity, okay? So gravity is when it is the force that pulls two objects together. The bigger the mass, the bigger the pull. So we have Earth, and we're walking on Earth because our mass is small, and Earth's mass is huge. So Earth's mass pulls us to it. Now let's talk about negative people, and let's talk about negativity in general, and let's talk about positivity. Now, negativity has a large mass, and let's talk about why. So here is my research, because I was in deep thought about this. I was like, why is this so? So I started thinking about who we are as human beings and how we've evolved over time. And negativity is like, it's an emotion. And I am convinced through research that we had to stay alive for a long time. Like, negativity was one of the things that kept us alive. When we felt something and we felt the emotion, we categorized it as a negative emotion, and it caused us to spring into action. And that springing into action due to the emotion that we felt oftentimes saved our life. So what was once a survival mechanism kept us alive. And another thing to keep in perspective is we haven't always been at the top of the food chain. So we've been at the bottom of the food chain a lot longer. Okay, so when we talk about negativity and just staying connected, I want you to think about how fast you want to move. So let me bring it back to you. How fast you want to move. If you want to stay where you are, then stay around negative people. If you want to move faster, get around positive people. The way this works is because negative people think negatively, positive people think positively. The faster you get around positive people, the faster you can start moving in the right direction. I was going to break down this thing scientifically, but I could feel myself just veering off. So I will tie it up like this. If you could simply see negativity as an emotion that people have that is transmitted to you, then you will be a lot better keeping that negative emotion away from you. And if you can keep that negative emotion away from you long enough to build your own mass, you will then be able to affect the things around you more so than you being affected by it. So the moral of the story, without going too far off, is that if you start out building your business, your very small mass, and your small mass is very easily affected by the larger mass of negativity around you. And the more you build your mass by being around positive people and adding their mass to yours, the more resistant you become to change due to forces outside of you. And the goal is to get into a community that incubates you long enough for you to establish and attain critical mass so that the negativity that is surrounding you no longer affects you as much as it did when you were at a non-critical mass point.
Okay. Enough quantum physics, guys. Listen, what Bobby's trying to say is keep yourself in the right package. Keep yourself in the right circumference. Keep yourself around the right people, right? Because positivity has trajectory. It has pull. It has motion. It has energy. It has what we call tailwinds. And if you can find yourself in the tailwind of positive energy, you're going to find yourself drifting in the positive direction. Negativity has extreme gravity, which can pull you through the floor and make you question your own ability. Right. So one of the things I want to talk to you about real quick today, based on, what everybody's doing today, what the energy's like, is unwrapping your gift. When I said we have to be selfish, everybody else got gifts today. Everybody else is unpacking their gift. But I want to ask you, are you unpacking your own? Are you spending the time required to unpack your own gifts? People come to me all the time and say, Sean, I want to speak. Sean, I want to consult. Sean, I want to be a coach. And I have to give them an assessment, literally, to find out, is that your gift? Because everybody doesn't have the same gift, guys. There's going to be a lot of gift comparing today. Everybody will be comparing their stuff. What did you get? Well, I got this. What did you get? Well, I got that. This is when everybody's going to compare gifts. And some people are going to be re-gifting. I want you to think about this. A lot of people are going to be re-gifting the gift because the gift they got is not the gift that they really wanted. But because you re-gift and you don't spend enough time with the gift, you don't get to explore all of the benefits of the gift that was given to you. So we all have gifts. We were all given gifts. And we have to unpack those gifts to become good at them. Everybody's not meant to be everybody's not a natural born speaker, although it's a gift and you can learn the talent. You can learn the talent. The question is, will you give yourself enough time to do it? And will you put yourself in the right environment where it's complementary? It's complementary. So the leadership leverage and promote communities like that, we want you to go deeper into your gift. It's self-exploration. It's leadership development. It's not light or transitory or transactional. Instead of that, it's transformational. So I want you to think about those words: transformational, community, positivity, and unpacking your gift primarily. How can you do it? How can you do it the right way so that you don't give someone else the gift that was given to you? We'll be right back. This is The Breakfast Brand. The reason why I did this and what I do is help leaders to become brands and brand themselves. You train people how to treat you by how you treat yourself. I teach authenticity marketing. If people can take advantage of you, they will in your personal or professional existence.
My biggest takeaway just from day one is you are the brand. I would recommend it to anybody that's really looking to build a personal brand.
Just the brand in general has changed my life. I've grown so much since I've been a part of this.
I see myself in what he does, and I believe in it just as much as I believe in myself.
It's very important that you know yourself to the highest degree possible, because it's through knowing ourselves that we're able to know other people. You are the most important person in the room, and the better that you know yourself, the better that you're able to communicate to others. So you're not only playing the game knowing who you are, but you're also playing the game knowing who everyone else is, so that you're not playing blind.
He's extremely engaging with people. He has a fantastic smile. He's just a very high energy person.
This is called leadership development. So we have to be independently knowledgeable and considerate to know who we are so we can more effectively know who other people are. As the leader, it's your responsibility to allocate resources in the right places. If you don't know how to communicate effectively, you're losing the battle. Business is like a game of chess. It's not checkers. If you don't know how to lead with a personal brand, then you're losing the battle.
Everything about Sean's talk was fantastic. I mean, I got so much from it.
So he was really bringing fire and passion and just love and spirit to let everybody else know how do you become a leader amongst the leaders.
You hold the key in your hand. There is more power in this phone than there was that took the first man to the moon.
His energy, his dynamic information, gave a really great presentation.
I didn't ask for any money. I didn't have an offer. I had a heart to help people and meet them where they were at and find their need and fulfill it.
Sean is the bomb.
All right, guys. So everybody's giving gifts today. I figured let me go ahead and provide you with the same. Let me provide you with the gift. And this is the beautiful thing, right? This is the gift that keeps giving. It's a gift that keeps giving. If you put that link below in your browser and you unpack it, you unwrap it, that's called our leadership chess test or influencer brand profile, however you want to categorize it. Leadership chess test for the strategic and deep thinkers, or influencer brand profile for the coaches, consultants, speakers, and the influencers, right? If you unpack this gift, what this gift will do is it will help you to unpack your own gift. Now I want to tell you a story, a real quick one though, real quick, real simple. Child gets gift. Child says, I don't think I like this gift. Goes outside and says, I want to trade gifts. Let's trade. They see something shiny that they like that someone else has. They say, hey, I was given this, you were given that. Why don't you give me that gift and you take this gift? So they exchange gifts. But then the second person starts really playing with the gift, really spending time with the gift, really enjoying the gift. And the child who initially initiated the re-gifting is like, hold on. They're having a lot of fun with my gift. I'm not sure I like this gift. Hold on, let me have it back. Let me get it. Can I get my gift back? Guys, a lot of times we have a gift, but it's complicated to us. It's not so simple for us to just unpack it. Like, it's not the easiest thing in the world to create a speaking career or an online course or a phenomenal community that keeps paying you dividends. So sometimes we give up and we try to re-gift and we try to do something else real quick. But then we look at someone who's successful and absolutely crushing it. They're living inside of their gift. And we're like, wow, that looks great. If I really took the time to explore, if I really took the time to dive deep into that gift, who knows what I could make of it? So you've probably tried a couple things, coaching, maybe speaking, maybe communicating with people, maybe closing deals. You've probably experimented on the surface with a lot of different things, but I want to ask you, have you really gone deep and explored all that there is to know about your gift before you try to re-gift?
Wow, that makes me think about my wife and I. She wanted to re-gift me. She wanted to re-gift me. She had a circle of girlfriends, and she was really adamant about not marrying me and about not being in a relationship. And she wanted to pawn me off to her friend. And I remember us talking about that for years. And she was like, yeah, I didn't want to be, in a relationship with you. I was just gonna, hook you up with my girlfriend. And yeah, that was going to be the end of it. And some days I think she still wish she did. She's like, I got stuck with this guy. Oh my goodness. But at the end of the day, also, we've got beautiful girls together. We've got phenomenal work that we're doing. And one thing that I've learned about gifts, especially people, I think it was Norman Vincent Peale who said it. He said, God wraps gifts in pain. or something like that.
Hmm.
Is like most people aren't willing to go through the pain of unwrapping. So if you were to imagine your gift and it's wrapped, the wrapping paper is obstacles, challenges, and hurdles, is like a lot of people never really get to the gift because they're unwilling to unwrap it. They're unwilling to really go through the wrapping paper. So I think that my wife definitely experienced that with me, is like peeling back the layers of a human being and the various things that cover the shell of an extraordinary person. And I think our gifts can be the same way. You know, that's one of the things that I'm experiencing right now with finance. Like it's a portion of the gift that I have, but it's really like I think it's like wrapping paper. Like finance is really about growing things. And that's the part that I like. That's the gift that I enjoy. It's taking the value of something and growing it. The wrapping paper, accounting, by numbers, all that other Excel, that's wrapping paper to me. And sometimes that's what it can be like, I think, is are you willing to unwrap your gift so you can play with it?
Are you willing to do the work?
Yeah, do the work.
Are you willing to do the work? You got to learn the toy, right? You got to learn it, guys. I want you to understand this. Like, you're not going to understand it in the beginning. I remember Transformers. Transformers were very hard for me. Like, I don't know. Maybe it's just me. Maybe some of you guys struggle with this, but Transformers were very hard for me to get them just right. They were always clunky for me. So I always would try to get rid of them or not deal with them because they were hard. They were complicated. You know what was another thing that was hard and complicated for me? I'm going to bring it right home. How would you guys like that? How would you like for me to put the bow back on what I just took the bow off of? You know what was really hard for me? Unpacking and unwrapping and having the patience to deal with and learn how to use. Education. Education was hard for me. Education was that package, Bobby, that if I could re-gift something, let me tell you something. I gave it back. Matter of fact, I re-gifted it for years, decades. I said, take this stuff back, man. I don't need this. I'm good without it. I'm phenomenal. I can do what I need to do. I know how to close deals. I don't need the education piece. Like, trust me, like that was hard for me. Education was hard. Trying to put that thing together and unwrap it and put together the transformer of education. I was like, nah, I'm good. I'm good right here. I don't need that. I'm good with a high school diploma. Give me that and I'll be fine. But then I came to a point in my life where I said, you know what? I need something to change. I came to a point in my life, Bobby, where I really, really needed something to change. And it was in that introspective space. It was in that vulnerability. It was in that honesty. It was in that transparency that I went inside of myself and I said, I remember that I was given the gift. I remembered years ago, decades before, and I said, I used to really love to read and I used to really love to write. I mean, I really, really passionately adored education at some point before it became convoluted and complicated. I said, I'm not really sure, but I think there might be something to that gift that I gave back a long time ago. I re-gifted it. I traded it for the immediate, guys. I traded the long term for the immediate results, something tangible now. Pay attention because you might be going through the same thing. You might unpack something today that you say initially, I don't want this. This is too hard to deal with. Like a challenge, like a trial, like Bobby was just saying. Education for me, most challenging thing I ever encountered in my life. It was like Godzilla. Trust me, it was Godzilla. And I was one of them little men. But watch this. When I went back to it and I started picking it up again because I was a little bit older and because I was going through some things in my life that really needed solving, when I looked at it through that lens of maturity, super simple. You know what I did? You know what the difference was?
What was that?
I applied myself. Yes. I wasn't distracted like I was when I was 14, 17. I actually applied myself. I focused and I concentrated and I unpacked that gift. And that became the gift that keeps giving. It gave me this. It gave me this. It gave me this. The ability to communicate effectively gave me my wife. It gave me the business. It gave me this. And when I say this, I mean the Breakfast with the Brand. It gave me this. Bobby, if I didn't go back and unpack that gift, you wouldn't be here. You'd be somewhere being phenomenal, but you wouldn't be here. This is the Breakfast with the Brand. This is the $1 billion Breakfast with the Brand. And it all started because I went back and I revisited something that I had re-gifted prior to. So I want you guys to really think this morning, as you're with your family, as you're with your loved ones, hashtag replay squad, as you're with your loved ones, as you're sitting there thinking about your morals, your values, your principles, your legacy, why you do what you do, who you do it for. While you're in that space moving into a new year, I want you to revisit the gifts that you've re-gifted. We'll be right back. This is the Breakfast with the Brand. Don't take what I just said lightly.
I said Sean Rais. I'm proud. I said Sean Rais.
Leadership is not the brand they made for us.
Listen, he brought fire, heat. He didn't hold back.
20 years down the line, what I could sell, why not serve first? Service over salary.
Branding like a leader closes the gap for people who want branding. Speaking like a leader closes the gap for people who are nervous about speaking. If Steve Jobs would have speculated, we wouldn't have Apple.
He changed lives. He helped people open up their business and start their business.
We are the brand. Some people say, Sean, should I quit my job? Mentally, yes.
As a speaker too, to be able to learn from him and watch him and game respects game. And I want to have that much game someday.
The right client, pay $500,000 for what you do. You have to be bold in your beliefs.
He has been an amazing asset to this event and a pleasure to work with. Very captivating, collaborative, worked very well with the audience.
I want to help you. Put a 0 behind your number, right?
The session was great. How he is online, virtually, he is even more phenomenal in person.
Be the face of change that you want to see. Stop asking questions and start giving demands.
The entire team has just been absolutely incredible. They are a joy to work with. They go above and beyond.
Give yourself a round of applause. Yes, yes, yes.
I don't talk theory. I don't talk hyperbole. I don't talk opinion. Nothing I talk is anything but evidence-based.
During the G-Circle retreat in Atlanta, I had the pleasure and the honor of listening to Mr. Sean Rais. He will not only impact your organization, but he will elevate your team to another level.
When you change you, when you put you into the equation, the whole system is different. I guarantee you, you got the right thing. You are the right person. If you can present yourself in the best way possible, there's no negotiation.
His energy is infectious, and I have so many takeaways from the presentation that I can't wait to get started and implement them today to see the result.
Yes, yes, yes. This is what I want you to think about this morning. As you're looking at your loved ones, as you're unraveling your gifts and unpacking your gifts, I want you to think, what have I re-gifted before? Or what gifts do I have now that I'm looking at lightly, that I'm undervaluing? Because I promise you, I undervalued the gift of a passion for education. And it took me 20 years, guys. 20 years, almost 30 years to go back to that gift that I had when I was 14, 13. And that passion, and I had to go back to that and unwrap it. And when I did, I realized that was the gift. That was the goose, Bobby. That was the goose. I gave away the goose. I've been struggling for 30 years trying to put it together. I went back in my mind. I said, what did I feel like I left something behind. And I dropped the goose that laid the golden eggs. I gave away the goose that laid the golden eggs. Other people were fruitful with it. They picked it up. I put it down because I didn't have the concentration. I didn't have the focus. I didn't have the dedication. I didn't have the discipline. And I learned such a lesson that changed my life forever. Not only changed mine, but changed everybody that I come in contact with now. Because they get some of this goose. They get some of this goose. I promise you. You come around me, you're gonna get some of this goose. And what's gonna happen is you're gonna start finding fruit. You're gonna start being productive. You're gonna start being fruitful. Start making money. You're gonna start building your business. You're gonna start building your confidence. And you're gonna start dominating in your marketplace.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I wrote down as you were talking about this is that like your business is someone else's gift. That's what I wrote down. Like your brand is like the size, the color, and the shape of a gift under the tree, you know? And I think that's what attracted me to you is that before I knew who Sean Rais was, I saw a gift wrapped, though it was wrapped. But what I think is very important about your brand, you are the brand, and about you doing your due diligence to unwrap your gift is as you unwrap your gift, I think it's going to start to take shape, and all of these different things about you are going to start to take shape. And when someone comes in contact with your brand, what they should see is the shape of who you are, what you are underneath. And as they see the wrapping paper and the size of the brand, they should be enticed to really want to unwrap this. You know how kids are. The bigger the present, the bigger they think, or the better they think it's going to be.
That's right.
Like, so you want to be this nice, big billboard of a present in the marketplace. And I think that's exactly what your brand does. And I believe when you know what your gift is, you spend time with your gift and your gift takes shape. What I remember is as I was peeling back Branded Like a Leader, peeling back Speaking Like a Leader, peeling back Coaching Like a Leader, I just kept seeing more of the shape and more of what I was looking for. So imagine I wanted a car for Christmas and the brand looked like it could be a car. It was possible. It was big enough. It was shaped rectangularly. So once I started pulling things back, what I found was I saw a handle. I was like, that could be a car handle, but I don't know. And I pulled back some more and I saw a door. I was like, I don't know. Is this a 2-seater? Is this a 4-seater? Then I saw a tire, and before I knew it, I didn't care what kind of car it was. I just cared that it was mine after I unwrapped it. And
now watch this. Now watch this, Bobby. What you thought was a car became a car, a house, and keys to freedom. Right? Listen, when I say it's the gift that keeps giving, it's the gift that keeps giving. Right? So what he thought might be a car became the car, the house, the keys to freedom, the keys to retirement, the keys to 400% revenue increase. Guys, I promise you, don't undervalue your gifts. Don't undervalue your gifts, because I did that myself. I looked at it, I said, yeah, I like writing, but I said, yeah, I like reading, but I said, this takes too much work is what I said, Bobby. I said what a lot of entrepreneurs, a lot of failing entrepreneurs say. I say, this takes too much work. It's like Branded Like a Leader now, 44 hours. It's like, this takes too much work. Oh, I look at the first video, the second video. I got some keys now. I think I can go make some money now. The rest of it takes too much work. I'm not willing to unpack that. That's too much work. And because it's too much work, you leave the gifts. You leave the real gifts. You leave the value inside of the gifts. Guys, when I went back and I unpacked education, it changed my life. It changed my life. It changed the lives of my children. Every last one of them have been positively impacted because I went back to the gift of education. It changed my wife's life. I retired her. Why? How? Not why, because that was a passion. A lot of you guys have got people that you want to retire. Put it in the chat. You got somebody you want to retire in your life, somebody you know that you want to say, you know what, Mom? You don't have to go to work anymore. You know what, baby? You ain't got to go to work anymore. You know what, son? You can come work for mommy. You can come work for daddy. You got to unpack that gift and go deep inside that gift for that to be possible, because it's not easy. What you're trying to accomplish is a 0 behind your number. What you're trying to accomplish is a 0 behind your confidence. Let me tell you something about my confidence. When it came to school, my confidence was non-existent. My confidence was the 0. I'm talking about adding a 0. My confidence was the 0 when it came to college. But when it came to school, I was done. Like my confidence was not there. I was more confident in the hood. Like I was more confident speaking. I was more confident, speaking than actually learning and reading and divulging and writing and APA and all of the stuff that I had to learn to be successful. But once I got the rhythm, guys, once you get the rhythm, once you give it enough time and take enough time to truly unpack it and spend time with it, this is not going to take, okay, so watch this. People come to Breakfast with the Brand for 1 hour and they think they're good. I promise you, you're not. I do a sales training with my team, 1 hour a day. That is not all that is required to become successful in sales. That is not all that is required to become successful at closing. Not 1 hour. It will not work. You know what that sounds like? A hobby. A hobby. Not a gift. Not a passion. Not a purpose. And definitely not a profession. If you want to be a professional, you need to spend hours and hours on your craft, especially if you're not 12. If you're not 12 years old, like if you're not learning like this and you're not, you don't have 40 years to go before you hit 40, 45, then you need to really, really compress time and spend a lot of time in what you want your gift to become. If you want to create a speaking business, if you want to create a coaching business, if you want to create a consulting business, then you have to immerse yourself inside of that gift and spend hours there and not leave. That's the only way you come out of there with these. That's the only way you come out of there with these. That's the only way you come out of here with one of these that work. A lot of people get married. They unpack the gift. They start the gift, right? They start the gifting process. They start unpacking the gift. They say, yeah, I do. But then they say, I don't. When they find out how much work it takes, they're like, I don't. Or I've been here long enough. Or they say that fatal word. They entertain that fatal word, quitting. They entertain that fatal word, quitting. And when you entertain that fatal word, there's a huge chance that you'll never be successful.
I just took notes. I just took notes, guys. I wrote down a few things about the gift that keeps on giving. One of the things that came to mind was just how much impact would you have if you unpacked your gift and then you became a gift to someone else, and the gift that you were to them helped them unpack their gift? Because that's kind of what coaching has been like for me. It's like Sean unpacked his gift. And as he unpacked his gift, I was able to see him unpack it more. So I was with Breakfast with the Brand when it launched. I was there. So I got to watch him go through the process of unpacking more and more gifts in real time. And what that did was it gave me almost a blueprint of what it looks like to unpack a gift. So that's what I ended up doing. I ended up unpacking a gift. And as I saw him unpack the next gift, I remember seeing him go through 3 different backgrounds. I remember the first background where it was the white wall and white room with the 2 circles and the bulky mic. Then I remember the second room where it was the Burj Khalifa had replaced the circles, and there wasn't the 3 master's degrees over there. It was a face of the Spartan at the bottom, and then there were 2 book stands and 1 center book stand. and the mic was different. And then we have this one that we have now. Burj Khalifa, 3 master's degrees, bobblehead, executive mic. And I just remember, oh, and by the way, it was red tie, no blazer. And then it was red tie, white shirt, black blazer. So I remember just watching him unpack gift after gift after gift. And I remember even bloopers, you know, like him saying live, like, oh, okay, I'm not going to do this next time. But I did it this time. I remember him saying, hey, this is how you do this in real time. Like no shame whatsoever. Like it was he taught me how to fail well, you know, because it was never failure. It was always learning. It was always a lesson. And I think that that's what unpacking your gift should be about sometimes. It's a process of learning and enjoying the process of unwrapping. That's the most exciting part, right? The excitement is what do I have? What do I have? And then, you know, as you start playing with it, you know, then there's another level of excitement. But
a lot of times you'll be disappointed, right? A lot of times you'll be initially disappointed. But watch this. So Bobby said something about the Spartan. I got the Spartan over there. I was going to grab it real quick and show it, but I got the Spartan right there, like next to me. And watch this. You guys are going to see the background change again. This is not permanent. This is not static. This is not stuck in time. It's an evolutionary process. If your evolution does not cause a revolution in someone else, then there's a problem. If your evolution does not cause a revolution to take place in someone else, then there's a problem. So what Bobby just told you is how he was affected by the consistent evolution. Listen, his life has evolved as well. His brand has evolved as well. But I said something earlier that I sometimes minimize the importance of what I say. And I have to go back to it and unpack it again and again and again, because God will give me something to say. I'll say it, but then it won't be from me. Like I'm not that deep. Like I promise you, like I read and I got master's degrees, but sometimes I'm not as deep as I sound. So I'll say something real quick in the moment of just giving, because I believe that I'm used as a vessel. And sometimes I'll go back and revisit what I said, and I'll be like, ooh, that was deep. That was really, really good. But I did it in real time just now. And I want you to follow me. So I said that I used marriage as an example. And I said, if you entertain the thought of quitting, the chances are very high, the probability is very high that it becomes a habit. Quitting becomes habitual for you when you entertain it the first time around. Now, I Googled something on another browser while Bobby was speaking, just because I wanted to check myself. I course correct myself all the time, and I want to make sure whether I'm right or I'm wrong. And I had a hunch. I had a hypothesis. And I tell you that everything we do is evidence-based. I said, let me see if I can make this evidence-based for the people. So I Googled something. So watch this. First marriages end at 50%. So half of all marriages end in divorce. Half. But that's not the most important part of what I'm about to say. Those who wed multiple times face a higher rate of divorce. So I want you to relate this to your quitting and not unpacking your gift fully, not giving it time to matriculate, not giving it time to mature, not being disciplined enough to withstand and hold on to your first initial decision. You say, I do. And then you say, I don't. And it becomes habitual. So first marriages end at 50%. Second marriages end at 67%. Yeah, 67%. So you unpack the gift and you say, I'm going to be a coach. I'm going to be a speaker. I'm going to be a consultant. And then it gets hard. And then you have your first argument. And then things break. And you're like, nah, I'm not going to do that. As a matter of fact, instead of being a speaker, I'm going to be a coach. And you try that. And you say, well, I'm going to create a course. I'm going to write the book. And because you said no already, it becomes easier to entertain quitting. As a matter of fact, it becomes likely. It becomes a pattern. And the first ones end at 50%. The second ones end at 67%. But watch this. The third ones end at 73%. This is statistical. This is statistical. This is not my opinion. It went beyond my opinion. This is evidence-based. The first thing you say you're going to quit at, as soon as it becomes entertained, then it becomes easy and it becomes habitual and it becomes a pattern. Guys, do not re-gift the gifts that you've been given. You've been given them for a reason. It's deeper than you could Bobby, I never thought that the thing that I hated the most would give me the things that I love the most, the people that I love the most. I guarantee you this, guys. And let me just say this real quick, because there was very few people here in the very beginning on the Breakfast with the Brand, and I knew everybody was waking up and getting their cocoa or whatever the case may be and looking under the tree and all that stuff. But I want you to understand something, guys. I just learned something. It's through going through the hard parts that you learn the most about yourself. I give you guys all that I have to give, but I get more than I could ever give in return. Everything is a process of self-discovery for me. And through giving myself, through sacrificing to go through education, and it was not easy. I'm still there. And we are PhD less at this point. We got 3 master's degrees and we beating on two different drums, PhD drum and Ed drum. We beating on them both. But the thing that I hated the most and that I gave back at 14 became the thing that became the gift that keeps giving. It gave me my books. It gave me my wife. It gave me my children's respect and confidence. It gave me my own confidence. It gave me my business. I want you to really think about what gifts have you been given that you regifted.
You know, that's great. It takes me back to an exercise. You gave us 2 exercises. I remember in Closing Like a Leader, you gave us design your ideal life as a closer. And I remember in Branded Like a Leader, you gave us design your ideal life. And one thing that both of those have in common is identity. And you gave us the one book to read. You gave us Psycho-Cybernetics.
That's right.
Book. And, you know, one of the key elements was most people's success and failures are based on their perception of themselves. So with that, I think that also plays a role in our gifting and what things we let go and what things we hold on to. So for me personally, I feel like I let go of a lot of gifts that I should have held on to based on the criticism of other people as I learned to play with the gift. So for example, imagine if you were a basketball player, that was your gift, like you had a passion for it, but you weren't necessarily genetically gifted to play the game. So while you're playing the game, people are making fun of you. They're saying you're not really going to make it. They're just laughing at you as you get acquainted with the game. And I think for a lot of people, we can't handle the laughter. We can't handle the criticism. We can't handle people around us just telling us that we're better suited for something else when they don't know who we really are. Like they don't feel what we feel. They're not connected to the process like we're connected to the process. So that was just something I wanted to share with you all as I listened to Sean talk about his process. I'm like, okay, what did I let go of? Like, what did I put down? And one of my things was just thinking boldly. I was just always a thinker. And I think had I kept on thinking and speaking my mind and just saying it how it came to me, I'd be a much better articulator of those ideas today. So now I got to go back and I got to think boldly, consistently, say what's on my mind and get better at actually articulating that.
Very good. Pull words away. It's less is more, guys. I always say less is more. Less is more. So watch this. I just got the idea and the inspiration to gift you something else. And that's just before the end of this year. So between now, December 25th, and January 1st, if you want to give someone else the gift that keeps giving, all of our Like a Leader programs, all of our core competencies, so speaking, branding, coaching, closing, consulting, marketing, like a leader, are going to be buy one and gift. So listen, if you know what branding has done for you, if you know what closing will do for you, if you don't have it already, you know what closing could do for you, what could it do for you and your best friend? Or you and your partner in business? You guys would be on the same page. That's what we want to gift you with. That's what we want to give you with. When you buy one, you can give one to someone else. The gift that keeps giving. And if you're interested in that, just drop something in the comments, hit me on the DM. You already know, like, I'm super accessible. My team is always present. You can also hit me at info@support@SeanWrightEast.com. Listen, guys, I do things on the fly. I'm very spontaneous. I just give stuff away. Like, that's just me. That's what this is. This whole thing is a gift. This whole Branded Like a Leader, this whole Breakfast with the Brand is a gift. It was an idea that I came up with. However, if you want to really give someone something that will change their lives, if you want to give them the discipline of fishing, instead of trying to give them fish, you got gifts right now. You're giving people gifts, but if you want to give them the gift that they could use to find their own gift and gift and gift and gift for the rest of their lives and create a legacy and a legacy business, then all of the Like a Leader programs, branding, coaching, speaking, closing, consulting, and marketing for the next 5 days, next 6 days, will be buy one, gift one. This is the Breakfast with the Brand. And we'll be back tomorrow. Same time, same place. The main core message for this morning is revisit what you've regifted. Let's grow.